morning. I decided to wait until long after the fact when it comes to if and when I talk to my therapist again. I don't want anyone to know when I'm going, or what day, or maybe I already went, just didn't tell you. There's no need to tell you really, because there's just, all I'm going to do is talk with her about the same shit I talk about out here, Know what I mean? Maybe I already went. Maybe that's why I'm so depressed. I had I'm not up for the day, but I had weird fucking dreams last night. Oh man, I'm gonna go back to bed. Weird dreams. I'm sure any dream analysis person, maybe even a layman, someone who doesn't analyze dreams professionally, can figure this one out. I was gonna bravely do karaoke. It wasn't even at the place I've been going to, but in the dream it was someplace I had been going to, right? And I was finally gonna plan to do Delta Dawn, I was gonna get up there, I was gonna be brave. And it turned out that it was a different person hosting it. And this person's brilliant idea is that you don't get to choose your own song. You have to do whatever song. They make like a list of songs on the board. And, and I'm thinking, I don't want to, I guess I was all disappointed. I'm like, I don't want to do that. Why do I want to do a song I don't know? And I'm looking at the board, I didn't know any of the songs. The only song I knew was Got Me Under Pressure by ZZ Top, and I knew that one because I have it on my MP3 player. I put it a couple of weeks ago on my MP3 player. But I didn't want to do it. I wanted to do a very simple, one I know, like the back of my hand. This is a very simple song, And I was bitching. I'm like, what's the point in that? Why can't people do the songs they're comfortable? That make them comfortable to sing. And then I was thinking to myself, it's because they want, this is what I was getting at from people, or just in my own head. Someone might have even said it to me, because they want, I think I was just thinking it in my head though, they want people in the audience, they want people at that bar to be able to hear all kinds of interesting songs, even if you butcher it, better than hearing something they don't want to hear. That's what I was thinking to myself. So somebody, I guess the host chose all these songs, and anyone who wanted to do karaoke had to sing from the chosen list of songs. You're not being forced to do karaoke, obviously, but if you want to do it, you can't sing what you want to sing. You have to sing what they want you to sing. So it wasn't a nightmare. It caused anxiety, but what else in me, but what else is it, I was upset, but I had to deal with it, right? If those are the rules. I didn't know any of the songs on the board except the one. But in their eyes, it's like, well, you don't have to know it because the words show up, yeah. And then you butcher it because you don't know the song. It doesn't matter if you're doing the words. To be good at karaoke, you really have to know the song at least somewhat. you know. I guess I can tell you guys this. Nothing wrong with telling you guys this, right? It's not what's upsetting me, and it's not any kind of strategy. You know how we get all those things in the mail that you're supposed to mail back, you know, the conservatorship thing, the guardianship, I object. Last time I did that thing that I objected, and you had to do it by a certain date, and the date it was due was actually after they had already gone to court, and, the objection was due beforehand. I told you we all, me, Uncle, Auntie, all got one. Another one regarding our objection to the conservatorship, but the date it was due back was actually after the court date. So I was mentioning it to my mom's lawyer, who I was talking. I was getting, I got to talk to her a little bit. On my own. They had already gone to the car, and I don't know what I was asking. It really doesn't matter, and she goes, "Oh, you don't have to turn that in." And I'm like, "Are you sure?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm here, and you all showed up in court." "Yeah, but judge didn't even know who we were." She's like, "No," and she's been doing this a long time. I'm like, "Well, why do they send it out then?" She's like, "You don't have to do it." Because she was saying she thought she had read my other one. And she was like, "I read that, and I'm like, "I don't think you read mine. I didn't send it out to anybody. And I brought it to the court late, but it didn't matter anyways. The guardianship part was dismissed." But, she told us all. Oh, I know why I was asking her. She told us all when we were having a little meeting afterwards in the lobby. And then I wanted to reassure. I'm like, "Are you sure we don't have to send that in? It says we have to send it in." And I'm thinking to myself, and Auntie always said, all these deadlines, you have to make sure you make them. She's like, "Laura, you're in court. You're there. You don't have to send in that objection." And, of course, Auntie when she said that to all of us, Auntie was like, "Oh, one less thing to do. Good, we don't have to do it." Because it wasn't due until today, and we already went to court. It's the same damn thing as before. And no, I was not going to write another 5-page thing. Okay? I told Auntie and Uncle I was going to do it anyway. It concerns me that she says you don't have to. But she was adamant about it. Not that it would hurt to send it in. She said you don't have to. She told us all we don't have to. And I was gonna, but I didn't. And then if I mail it today, it'll be late anyway. And then I was going to go in person, and I'm like, why should I go in person when Auntie and Uncle aren't going to do it at all? What does it matter? My mom's lawyer said it didn't matter. But before, Auntie had always said it's important to get any of those papers in by the deadline date. That's producing anxiety in me. You're like, we should have just done it. Yeah, I do it and Uncle and Auntie doesn't. What's the point? Don't do it. They trust whatever my mom's lawyer says. She instantly said, "Oh, you don't have to send," and I'm thinking, how can we not? It says if you object, you have to get that in. She's like, "It's not necessary. You're all here in court, and I'm saying that you guys object." I know, but you guys have to remember I lack 100% the ability to trust. Okay? I don't trust anybody. I don't trust what my mom's lawyer says. I don't care if she's a lawyer. I mean, if I'm told to object, if I object, I have to have that in by the deadline date. I believe I have to have it in. And she told all of us you don't have to, but I should have just done it anyway, but I didn't know where it was. And then I was just going to go there, and then I'm like, fuck that. I'm not going all the way there to do something that nobody feels it's necessary for me to do. As I told my therapist, as I tell all of you, I'm not doing good, you know? I don't have to. I mean, it's not like I have a lover, it's not like I'm around anybody, it's not like my mother even notices or cares. But probably for my own benefit, I should start showering more often. I forced myself to do stuff. I mean, look what I did Sunday night for me and my mama. You think I wanted to do that? I was exhausted. I wanted to go to bed or just do nothing. I certainly didn't want to spend a little over 4 hours non-stop cooking and cleaning, but I did it. Last night I cleaned my room and found out what I had suspected but didn't know for sure. It makes sense. If I have that sheet hanging up, that's blocking part of the heater. The bureau is blocking a huge part of the heater. So I'm not going to get as much heat if I put boxes in front of this whole part of the heater by my bed. Lo and behold, the minute I moved the boxes, it warmed up in the room instantly. I mean, I'm getting the heat from the other side because the desks are there, but they're not blocking all the heat because they're not solid. But boxes are solid, so I was right. I didn't understand at first, but I'm a thinker. I mean, I can think. I can use deductive reasoning. And I'm thinking, what did I do different? Why was I not freezing in the middle of winter? And now it's starting to get warmer out and whatnot, and there's no ice all over the house. And I put the heat low, and I'm freezing. It's because I had the boxes blocking the fucking heater. So now the boxes are in the closet. My next big project is to get all this food, rearrange my mom's kitchen cabinets, not the ones where she keeps her food, but the ones where she has stuff she doesn't use. Oh crap, I don't even know what's in there, but I know neither of us ever use it. You know what I mean? We still have the old blender that's not any good. I think the bottom's missing. I don't know. We got wrecked when she was sick, and we have a brand new blender. I haven't used the NutriBullet, and I know why. I'm afraid I'll put it together wrong. It's kind of irrational, but it's not irrational. The reason it's not irrational is because I told you I'm just horrible when it comes to anything mechanical. But I'm also not stupid, and it's not real complicated. I should just do it. I have it sitting there all nice on the dining room table. I just haven't put it together. I don't know why. Or I do know why, but it's not really a valid reason, I don't think. don't know why when I don't leave the house I don't shower as often. I think especially when you're really, really depressed, the days just blend together. Life goes by fast anyway. And I know it's when you're not exerting yourself much, it's not that big of a deal. I don't wear the same clothes every day or anything. I just don't shower as often as I should. Donald used to tell me weird things about his cousin. I wonder if his cousin, strange fellow, not bad looking. All the sisters in that family were pretty, They were half Spanish. Not that that makes a difference, I'm just telling you, Donald's quarter Spanish, because Dad wasn't Spanish. Cousin was smart, and I know that from meeting him. He lived, his mom, but something's wrong with him. According to Donald, he never had a girlfriend, not a bad-looking guy either. No job, lives with his parents. Never gone on like Social Security disability or anything. His parents just took care of him, but it's one of those deals where the dad had to finally quit killing himself at work. He got too old and whatnot, and the mom was starting to go blind, and they're not going to be around forever, and I don't know what's going to happen to him, and that's what Hope was always asking about her nephew. Remember, I only know this stuff because they told me. I told you Hope would love to gossip, and according to Donald, his cousin never bathed or brushed his teeth. I'm like, isn't his teeth gonna rot out of his skull? Some people, the things Donald told me didn't make sense, but Donald was adamant that they were true. I'm like, he has to bathe some, and he's like, he doesn't smell either in his breath, And I'm like, he has to sometimes bathe or brush his teeth. I think you're exaggerating. You're not living there. But Donald has spent time there. He's visited for a couple weeks at a time. But I don't know. Lots and lots of people have skeletons in their closet. Remember, Hope wasn't like me. I'm an open book, and I reveal my flaws and my vulnerabilities and my fears and whatever. Hope tries to pretend that everything's okay. I mean, she told me, her dad cheated, and her dad it wasn't that rosy of a picture, but, I mean, who knows? Things can happen. I mean, that you don't know about, that people simply don't share with you. I mean, what would happen with this kid that he winds up not being self-sufficient at all? There's something wrong. He's smart. According to Hope, they spoiled him rotten because they had him late in life and thought they couldn't have kids. And it's only child situation, just like Donald. And who knows? I have a feeling I'm not privy to know as much about Hope and Donald's family or whatnot as they were privy to know about mine. But it makes you wonder. I'm assuming the guy has to be mentally ill. I mean, he's in his 30s, you know, never had a girlfriend, never worked, nothing, and just lived off of his parents. When I knew him, most of us can't relate to that, you know. Of course, most of us can't relate to that. He didn't go to college. Donald, as you know, went to college. He majored in philosophy and minored in English. The guy minored in philosophy and majored in English. I've told you in other videos, any kind of situation you can think of is taking place somewhere. The situation with Donald's cousin, you know, living with his parents who are just going to keep getting older, and what's he going to do when they die, you know? Who knows? And that was a situation where he had no income. He helped out his half-brother once in a while or something to get a little bit of extra money, but he smokes he smokes a lot, so that was a situation where he completely living off them. They supported him. They supported him completely, his smoking habit, food, everything, and they weren't rich. But the dad busted his ass working until he couldn't do it anymore. And then there wasn't so much money, and they were struggling. But at that point, when you have never had a job, never worked your entire life, and now you're in your 30s, you know what I mean? It's like, what can you do? Hope tried to get him to see he could apply, I guess as a child, if your parent really needs your help, you can apply to be their caretaker, and actually get an income. Sometimes, certain states that can happen, but a lot of places you can't do that because people might take advantage of it. You know, a child living at home could say, "Oh, I'm my parents' caretaker," but he did help her and whatnot. But that was only later when she started to not be able to see as well. But he had been living there, you know, from day one. Never left. Who knows why? Obviously, he has some kind of phobia, antisocial, or whatever it is. I mean, he smokes, he drinks, but not the way Donald drinks, and he just stays on his computer. He's not even remotely stupid, I'm telling you that much. I can tell you that from talking to him. Remember, I met him more than once. Spent the day, we did family things at holidays. Start talking about shit, and I don't even know why I started talking about it in the first place. You know that? Oh, that's because he doesn't. According to Donald, and Donald, I know Donald was lying to me, because why would he? Why is he gonna say stuff that's very detrimental to his cousin? I mean, again, I didn't care for his cousin. He wasn't like a friendly fellow or anything, but he wasn't like, you can talk to him. I mean, he's not a recluse or anything. He just, I don't know. One of those puzzling things. But Donald would say, the interesting thing is he doesn't smell. Alright. How can you not smell if you never bathe? And then I just brushed it aside, because how does Donald really know? And my common sense is, how can you never brush your teeth and not have your teeth rotting out of your skull? And then Donald's like, he's probably had tooth problems. And then I'm like, well, why doesn't he bathe or brush his teeth? But see, that's the $1 million question. He doesn't. And Donald's witnessed it firsthand when he's visited for a couple, 3 weeks at a time. Remember, Donald can go and visit. Donald's on Social Security disability. Donald doesn't have any job that, that he's gonna miss work or anything. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, as I said. It's kind of interesting. I mean, in not a morbid sort of way, but it's just, I don't know. Again, people turn out the way they turn out. My mom claims she never loved her. Well, what were you with him for? Why are you going to be with an abusive alcoholic if you don't even love him, and why are you going to marry him? That's the $1 million question. I don't know. Just to be with somebody. Just to be with somebody because you have extremely low self-worth. I inherited that from my mom. But because I had certain, attributes or talents that she, in more abundance than she had, she lacked. When I was able, to develop fake confidence, never any real confidence or real sense of self-worth. And I know that. I mean, it's true. But I still have it, more than my mom. My mom's just like, but under the circumstances, what do you expect? It's interesting, huh? She told me just recently, yesterday, the day before, when we talked, because remember, different things pop up in movies or TV that say different things. Like we were watching that show, Mom, and in there the mom was apologizing, you know, saying she wasn't a very good mother, when in her case it was because she was an alcoholic when her daughter was being raised. She was raising her daughter and she was an alcoholic, the mom, and et cetera, et cetera. And then my mom looks to me, she's like, that's like me and you, huh? I wasn't a very good mom. I don't know, Mama, your situation was different. And I know alcoholism is a disease and the things you do when you're an alcoholic or whatnot. I still think it's kind of different regarding what the mom did, you know, in the show Mom. When her daughter was a kid. My mom was ill. And even if she'd never shown symptoms, I think she was probably ill before she had the major breakdown when I was 10, going on 11. That's my take on it, but, I mean, obviously no self-esteem. I mean, come on. My father treated her like shit. She went from my father to Irv, who treated her like shit. And now she's telling me she never even loved him. Why were you with him? Why'd you subject me to him if you didn't even love him? I think she said before she doesn't even know. She said the same thing like I've said about myself, that she can't fall in love or whatnot. I don't know. But then on the other hand, she did say she loved my father, but I don't think it was love. I think it was addiction or something to him, or, you know what I mean, obsession, or... Donald's total said on its tape, brilliant Donald. But I was never around that or whatnot. I don't know the concept. Like my mom has said, now this man she spent all these years with and married, she never loved him. Okay. She's said that before, but I didn't really understand, or I mean, she's saying it now, so apparently it's true. Why was she with him? Why'd she stay with him? $1 million question. I didn't love Donald. Same damn thing, I guess, you know. Why'd I stay with Donald? He destroyed my self-worth, and I didn't want to be alone, you know. But I had the good guy first, and I gave him up because I knew it wouldn't work between us. The good guy being Joe, of course. It wasn't going to work. He was too conflicted, and the fact that he's not a witness today, and he's way surpassed that, you know. But I knew I couldn't be the wife of a Jehovah's Witness. I mean, I'm not gonna be one of those women who just, you know, Joe asked me to marry him, I turned him down. I'm not gonna do that. I could have pretended. There are women who pretend just to... I could have pretended and then left him and broke his heart worse than just, you know... I love him. Love and in love, though, are two different things, and in love is a foreign concept to me. I'm not capable, but apparently neither is my mom. According to her, she said it to me before. She said it to me in sorrow, but no, I know. And now she's nearing the end of her time on this earth. She was with two abusive assholes, and one, you know, can be forgiven. He was severely mentally ill, and I mean, he wasn't innocent. He was, you know. Not as bad as the other two. I don't know, Chiquita. What do you think? What do you think, Omars? So yeah, I was gonna bust my ass. You know, it's not down the street and I don't drive, and to go and hand deliver this thing at the court. And then I'm thinking, why? Why should I do that when Auntie and Uncle aren't, and Auntie said, right up, you know, if my mom's lawyer says we don't have to, then we don't have to. And I just didn't want to get up. I just didn't want to do it. She's adamantly told me, even personally, when I questioned her again, Mom's lawyer, said, no, you don't have to. I said, but it said, she's like, don't worry about it. You're there in court in person, and I'm there. You don't have to send the thing in. Obviously, I wished Auntie had said she was going to send it in anyway, and then I would have. I mean, saying it in gives you an opportunity to also say why you object, but even that's, the lawyer's like, I'm here in court, and I'm saying you all object, and yeah, look how well that's going. What do you think, Omaloo? You just want to sleep, huh? Amazing, you can sleep all night with Grandma and then all day with me. I remember the other thing. Remember I said in the other video I had questions for you guys? I remember I said, I don't know if you want to know. 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 I don't know The other thing involves mammograms. When I was in the shelter, I guess it's changing all the time with doctors. Like, what's the deal with that? First, the experts say that all women should be getting a yearly mammogram from after they turn 40. Now on the news last night, they're doing an about-face and saying that the risks outweigh the benefits, and if you don't have a family history, if you don't have concern or whatnot, you don't need to get a fucking mammogram until you're 50, and it doesn't have to be yearly, it can be every other year. What's the deal? Why does it keep changing? Because in my camp, remember, they're not a huge proponent of getting mammograms. They say a lot of mammograms can actually cause, breast cancer from the radiation, and apparently experts are concurring with that at least a little bit, because now they're changing their tune. But it had to have been different, because I got a personal letter in the mail. Remember, I got the fucking mammogram, right? And then something showed up, because remember, they can have false readings all the time. Something showed up, then I had to have it again in they had me come right back into the same room, and then they wanted me to come again in 6 months, and I didn't do it. Okay? I'm sick of this fucking shit, and I know just by talking to Joe or whatnot, they get a false reading, and then they want you to come every 6 months instead of every year. And meanwhile, I shouldn't even have to have a mammogram until I'm 50. We have no family history of breast cancer, you know what I mean? So I never got a mammogram again, and now I hear on the news that they've changed their tune again, the doctors. And not too long ago, I got a personal thing, that you really need to have your mammogram. We recommend having a yearly mammogram after the age of 40, blah, 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 whatever. Well, now experts apparently have changed their tune, and it has to be because they realize that it is a risk, get the radiation or whatnot. They're acknowledging it because they're saying now the risks, they've realized that for women under 40, the risks outweigh the benefits. And what are the risks? It has to be the radiation you're putting on your breast to get the mammogram in the first place, okay? They're probably begrudgingly acknowledging that, because remember, it's all about money, and they want to have, they want you to have all these vaccines, they want you to get the mammogram now at age 40, and, So should I print that out from the internet? Like I said, now it's on the news last night, it said, but the news said this isn't any different than guidelines from before something. No, something had to have changed. I read online, and I got, remember, I don't really care for my primary care physician, and she's not even a true doctor. She's like a nurse practitioner or something or other, and, and she scoffed at me when I talked about getting a thermogram. Oh, there's nothing wrong with mammograms, just get it, what do you want to get a thermogram? Yeah, well now why are the doctors suddenly saying the risks outweigh the fucking benefits? They're being forced to acknowledge it. They're being forced to acknowledge that maybe, getting these radiation, getting the mammogram actually can cause breast cancer. I don't know. But I'm been repeatedly pushed by my fucking doctor, my primary care physician, to get a mammogram that I refused to get. And recently I got a personal thing that she signed, supposedly, But yeah, urging me, to get a mammogram. I'm just sick of it all. So that was another question I had for you. What's up with that? I'd rather take my chances. I told you, if I'm not going to go through chemo ever, or radiation, should I get cancer? Should I develop cancer? What am I even going to get a mammogram for? I'm gung-ho about being here in this reality anyway. And they're talking about glaucoma. Roseanne Barr has glaucoma. She's probably going to go blind. But it's saying by the time you realize you have glaucoma, it's too late. but you can catch it early if you just get the eye exams. And she's a star, rich or whatnot. You'd think she would have gotten the eye exams that could have caught her glaucoma early enough to fix it or whatnot. You'd think a star would be having the money, and they have the money. You'd think they would be getting the checkups that, it's the poor people that can't. And as for my aunt, she was ignoring fucking stomach pains, okay? She attributed stomach pains to something else, and meanwhile, she was developing pancreatic cancer, and by the time it was diagnosed, it was stage fucking 4, okay? A very, very small minority of people survive stage 4 pancreatic cancer from, like she lingered on for a year and a half. But she kept having to have operations and stints and this and that. And my mom was really upset she didn't get to see her sister at the end. But I know her sister, my mom's mentally ill and fragile. And my aunt, I'm sure she just didn't want my mom to see her like that. Auntie got to see it. Auntie was one of the few that had to take care of her sister right up to the very end, right up to her wasting away to nothing and dying. My mom's, she's sick, extremely, extremely fragile. I'm extremely fragile, and I've managed to escape ever being sectioned. I've escaped it by the skin of my teeth, admittedly. Particularly with that Chad Kruger thing. It was touch and go. The lawyer said good things in court. She did, but they're not letting go, and the judge didn't dismiss it. She'd filed a motion for dismissal. She mentioned how my mom lost 2 of her sisters in the span of a year, and it doesn't matter. These are all strangers. They don't care. They're all about the money. They just want my mom's money. They want the estate. They want to become my mom's conservator so they can go after Auntie's half the money, And I never thought it was wrong for them to split that money. Never thought it, because my mom never would have done anything, if any of it, without her sister's encouragement. I never thought it was wrong until people put that idea into my head. And the first person who put it into my head was the guy my mom met in the nut house. Where is he now? He was remaining a periodic part of my mom's life, but then, right after she had the major breakdown that February 14, and Mama's good boy, Omar. My mom went to an appointment.